Hello, I'd like to welcome everybody to today's webinar titled, What is Document Generation and Why It's Your Company's Competitive Edge That You May Be Missing. My name is Daniel Kemp, and I'm one of the account executives here at Windward. I'm really looking forward to spending the next half hour with you discussing all things related to document generation. As I mentioned, we've got about a half hour carved out for today's session. So to stick with that timing, we will be answering questions along the way during the session. But if you do have any, please put those in the pane to the right, and we'll get to those as soon as possible. And with that, let's get started. Again, my name is Daniel, and with me today is Kelly Gillespie. Kelly is one of our sales engineers and subject matter experts when it comes to Windward. Between the two of us, we've got over 10 years of experience with the company, and we're really excited to show you what we have. In just a few minutes, Kelly's going to demonstrate exactly how we automate a document using our technology. So, what exactly is document generation software? You might guess from the name that it has something to do with generating documents. The how is certainly not as obvious, and it can really vary depending on what type of solution you're using. The main thing you need to understand is that we use the data that you collect to automatically create dynamic documents. Now, what Windward offers is a design environment that sits right on top of the Microsoft Office suite. We allow users to work with products they already know, like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. We're one of the few vendors on the market that can automate Excel sheets as well as PowerPoint slide decks. So very cool technology, and one of the only vendors that can do so. We've also got intuitive wizards that will help non-technical users build out SQL queries or JSON or XPath statements directly from the product itself, simply by dragging and dropping items. It's super quick, super easy, and Kelly will show you how that's done here in just a moment. Now, document generation is certainly not anything new. In fact, companies like Windward have been around for over 20 years, but it's still something that most people aren't familiar with. And it remains one of the best kept secrets when you're trying to gain that competitive edge that we're all after. Now, everything from customer-facing forms and paper statements to internal reports and legal agreements, everybody is using documents. We're just using them in different ways. Now, while the impact of a poor process, may not be evident with smaller businesses, large enterprise types of customers, they really feel the impact of having like a manual, time-consuming and error-prone process in place. Now, this is a very mature market. In fact, Windward is just one of the many document generation solutions that's on the market today. But what makes this solution unique really comes down to three main things. First and foremost, we're a Microsoft Office add-in. So we make it really easy for non-technical users to leverage this solution. In fact, if you can build a document or report in Office, we can automate it using Windward. Second, these engines that kind of run behind the scenes, they were designed for high performance output. You might ask, what does that mean? Well, most of our customers are telling us that they're seeing generation times between 100 and 200 pages per second. That's pretty fast. We are generating pages per second, not seconds per page. And lastly, and probably the thing that we're most proud of, is our world-class support. Not only do we have the best support in the industry, but when you couple that with our ongoing training that comes, as part of being partnered with Windward, that really is one of the things that makes us a key competitor in this arena. The solution itself is powerful. There's no doubt about it. But when you add in over 2 decades of experience and expertise with document generation, that's what really sets us apart. So I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to Kelly, and he's going to show you exactly how we automate a document using Windward.
Thank you, Daniel. Whether you're creating, simple letter notification use case, or if you're building reports for some of your organization's highest stakeholders, if you're able to build it in Office, we can automate it with Windward. You easily author templates in Office, merge it with data from anywhere, and our engines return well-formatted document every time. Let's take a look at what using the product would look like in live demo. I'm going to start sharing my screen. Yes, I'd like to share. I'd like to share this screen right here. So if I'm doing this correctly, you should be sharing my screen now. I've got a blank Word document on the screen. It's just a shell of a document. Now, two of the native features that I like to use most in Office is the show hide paragraph marks here on the home ribbon. That's going to show me non-printing characters, the difference between a tab or spaces or a soft carriage return versus a hard carriage return. That's all going to be visible to you when you turn that on. So you can, position your cursor inside the document and see those non-printing characters. Another thing I use quite a bit is tables. I can turn on the grid lines here, keep the borders off, and control where my labels and my dynamic data fall into the document. All right, with those two native features implemented, I'm about to take advantage of the Windward add-in. See at the top of your screen the add-in Windward and Windward tools. You can get that to read anything you'd like, by the way. You'll notice the icons grouped in these functional groups like data, tags, tag properties, output, options like redirect to my website or wiki where I update my license key, find out what version I'm running, or set global options like locale. For the most part, you'll do all your work right here on the Windward ribbon. So once we're connected to a data source, you can connect to a number of data sources with Windward. You'll see in my connections here for recent connections how many data sources that I've connected to before. And it's just as easy as selecting the data source, and you can disconnect and reconnect quick and easily to any data sources that you attached to in the past. Now, once you're connected to the data, you're ready to start tagging out your document. The data bin will allow you to view the metadata related to your data source. And here we have SQL. And you can see when you expand each of the tables, the field names and the type of data points that they have. You can see if it's a date, if it's a number, if it's a string. It's easily determined right there using the data bin. To begin with this commercial invoice, I'm going to populate a few data tags from my data source. I need to get customer information up here in the bill to ship to information. And I also need to put a list of related records or related list of orders here in the table below. And to do that, I'm going to start out by defining a runtime variable. So the first thing I can do, I'm going to go ahead and start from scratch. I'm going to add a new runtime variable, and I'm going to call it my customer. Once I've done that, I'm going to give it a default value. You always want to give your runtime variables a default value so that as you work with them in the template, they're able to pull records from your data source. So now that I've named my runtime parameter, my customer, and given it a default value, I can save that off. And I can use that in the next tag I'm going to drop. With Windward, you only need to learn 16 tags to master our tagging language. And with these 16 tags, you build any kind of smart documents that you want. What I mean by a smart document is a single template capable of producing a variety of output based on the data it consumes. We do that with our conditional formatting tags. They allow me to set up a test condition within the template. And if it evaluates true, the content following the tag is displayed. Otherwise, it isn't. So very straightforward. These are my data tags. The for each and the query tags are my data tags. They won't show up in the output, but they are going to hold the data that I intend to work with in today's template. The first one I'm going to position is right here at the top of the document, and I'm going to drop a query tag. Query tags don't show up in the output, so formatting them is not necessary. And by default, it just gives them random variable names. I'm going to come up here and just change that to customer, because that's the data I intend to hold in that query tag, my customer data. Once I've named that, I'm going to open up the editor. I'm going to engage the wizard and let it help me build out this select statement. Very simple drag and drop interface. I'll maximize it to take advantage of the screen area that's available. And I'm going to blow this up to my customers. And I want the company name. I want my contact name there. And obviously, I'm going to get the address, the city, the region, and the postal code. Real drag and drop. And I can see the real-time results over here to the pane to the far right. In addition to that, I'm going to build in a filter so I can filter down to the specific customer record I'm interested in populating this invoice for today. And that is the customer whose customer ID is equal to the runtime parameter I've built in the previous step. If I've done that correctly, you'll see it filter down to a single record. You'll notice at the bottom of your screen, it builds a select statement for you. Once the query window is populated, I can preview to see if I got what I want, and I'm ready to save that tag. With that data tag populated, I'm ready to start dropping out tags. So I'm going to drop an out tag here for the company name. I'm going to drop one for my address. I'm going to drop another one for the city. I'm going to get to the end of that string. I'm going to put a comma space. I'm going to drop another out tag. And then eventually I'm going to need one for the postal code. There we go. Now I can see in here, I'm going to use my format painter to quickly adjust the format of these cells. I'm going to turn the bold off. And I'm going to start populating these tags. So I'm going to open it up in the tag editor. You'll see the data tree right here. I'm able to expand the query tag that I just populated. I'm able to drag over the company name. Preview as I go to see how it works. Drop to the next one. Again, expand the tag. Drag over the information you want. And just walk through your tags, quickly dragging and dropping the fields of importance for those out tags so that you can see what they are. This should be my last one here for postal code. There we are. And I'll save those. Now, in the interest of saving time, I'm going to just copy my build to over to my ship to so they're identical. I'm just going to assume they're the same. Now what I need to do is build out the related list of records here for the orders. That will require my for each and my in for each tags. Everything between these two tags will repeat for each record in the record set. And I'm going to drop an out tag for the order number, the product name, the unit price, the quantity, and the total. And once again, I'm going to use my format painter to quickly format these rows. And then I'm going to turn the bold off of this top row here. Okay, with that done, I'm ready to open up this tag and once again engage my wizard to help me build out the select statement needed for those related orders. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my orders and drag over to customer ID. That's the field I'm going to filter on, And I also am going to need to see the, hold on, expand this. I also going to want to see the product ID up there. I want to see that unit price, and I want to see that quantity. And again, you see the real-time results to the pane to the far right. Now I'm going to drill in and build the filter that says I'm only interested in those orders where the customer ID is equal to, you guessed it, the runtime parameter I made in the first step. Now we see this filters down to my default value for those orders, builds the select statement for me. Not only does it select the columns I need from the tables I need, handles the joins for me. In addition to that, it's applying my runtime variable. All done for me, quick and easy. I can preview to see that I got the results I want. But again, I got one of these default names. And I'm going to choose orders because orders is what it is. And I'm going to make the nickname the same. From there, I'm ready to start stepping across tags. So I'm going to try and position my tag editor window up out of the way here so you can watch me as I walk these tags. The window down here. Go back to the query window. There we are. Get some of those. And I'm just going to walk to the first out tag. You'll notice that it indicate that I'm at the out tag here. Now I'm able to expand the orders and bring over my order ID. I can preview to see that I get order numbers, right? Come over here to my products. I'll expand the for each variable, bring over the product ID. But when I preview it, I'm getting a product ID. I'm not getting the product name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call on that wizard again to help me build out the select statement that I need to get me the name. It's very simple. I go to the products table. I drag over the product name because that's what I want to see. And then I build a simple filter that says, I want the product name where the product ID is equal to my for each variable now populated by orders. There it is. Once again, I filter down to a single product name. I've done the select in and out tag, and I'm able to preview and see that I'm bringing back the product names instead of product numbers. From there, it's just as simple as dragging and dropping the fields. Unit price, I've got a number here. I'm going to go to the Properties tab. I'm going to come over here and type this as a number. I'm going to format that number as currency. Quick, easy, and preview as you go to make sure you're getting it right. Drag over to the quantity, expand my for each tab, go back to the query pane, drag the quantity over, preview to make sure I'm getting integers. Nice clean numbers there. That's easy. And now in this out tag here, I'm going to come over here and give this a nickname of total. And what I'm going to do in the query window is I'm going to expand the for each, and I'm going to bring over to unit price, and I'll put that on my clipboard because when I drag and drop, it replaces. And I'm going to bring over to quantity. And I'm going to build a simple formula in here that takes those two fields, multiplies them together to come up with a line total. Once again, I'm going to want to format this as a number. I'm going to format it as currency. I'm going to do one additional step here. I'm going to give this out tag a variable name, line total. Now, I'm done with my for each repeating records here. What I need to do to finish off this template is get an aggregated total number for all the orders that this customer's dropped in. And the way I'm going to do that is to first create a set tag. Set tag doesn't show up in the output, so formatting it's not important. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to call this G total. Okay. I'm going to give it the same data source nickname. I like to give it the same nickname so I can see what I'm working with. Then I'm going to edit this tag and I'm going to initialize it to 0. Now I'll select the tag. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to position it just to the right-hand side of the out tag, whose variable name is line total. The way Windward template processes is from left to right, top to bottom. And as I pass that out tag, the variable comes into scope. I'm also going to jump over here to my table tools and write justify this. Now I'm ready to modify the formula that's in the context of this for each loop. Because I'm between the beginning and ending for each tags, I'll be able to take advantage of my line total. My grand total is going to equal this plus that. There we go. Now all I have to do is drop my last out tag. Again, I'm going to write justify that. I'm going to go to the Windward ribbon. I'm going to drop myself an out tag. Make sure I can get an out tag in there. Okay. I'm going to jump to the end of this string. I'm going to get rid of that little space that's there. I think I got a space in front of it as well. And I'm going to use my format painter to get this to the size I want. Wonderful. Now it's just as easy as going to the data tree. You'll notice the same thing you see inside the tag editor. And I'm just going to output that grand total. Again, I'm going to type it as a number. And I'm going to format that data as currency. Quick and easy. From there, I'm ready to output my template. I pass in which customer I want to build an invoice for. And just like this, voila, we have ourselves a commercial invoice populated from head to toe, quick and easy, with total aggregated numbers. Pretty quick and easy, don't you think?
Thank you, Kelly. That was great. As you can see, you can create some really attractive customer-facing documents using Windward in just a fraction of the time it would take you to do with other solutions. Some of the key takeaways here at Windward is the designer is very easy to use, very intuitive. You're no longer going to have to worry about relying on your developers or your IT staff for these types of tasks. The maintenance, the onboarding, the training, all of this is going to be so much easier simply because your users already know how to use Office. So really, they're 90% of the way there. To sum this all up, Windward, our document generation is just going to make your life easier, bar none. It really opens the door to simplifying processes and reducing costs, so you can get back to doing things that really matter to your business. For a lot of our customers, solutions like Windward, this is your secret weapon. And many of our customers tell us that they see an ROI as quickly as 6 months. So we hope you enjoyed today's session. If you'd like to learn more, please visit us at our website at windwardstudios.com and take it for a test drive. We offer a free 30-day trial, and we'll be happy to support that. Thank you. Have a nice day.